Hey everyone, it's Christy with Crafted by Christy. Okay, look at all of these beauties. Okay, so there are, let's see, 14 of them, and I actually have probably, I don't know how many more that I made today. And I got a little carried away, but I love them. And I thought that we can make a few of them together. Um, actually the video for these was Natasha with Treasure Books, and how she did it was she stapled them. So like because they're so long and I don't have, a gator, one of those chomp big long stapler things, she showed to lay them out and open up your stapler and staple it onto something hard and then pull it off and bend your staples down. And that was too much work for me. So I decided, I think I made 2 or 3 that way, and then decided I wasn't going to do that. So I sewed them, but you can do them that way. It just takes a little longer and some patience, which I didn't have. But aren't these neat? These are all made out of just scraps, and like this is a paper ruffle that was made out of scraps, and these are just odds and end pieces that I had left over from other projects with this lace. But I thought they were so neat and so easy to make. I sewed around some, put a little few tabs. I used some washi tape. I stenciled quite a bit on them, because stenciling to me is so pretty and easy and a quick embellishment. The only other things that I put on were the little paper clips with a charm, because I didn't even embellish the backs of these. I think the reason why, because I was thinking, basically you're going to put it down in a journal and you won't see it much till you take it out. But I mean, my thought was it would be used as like a notebook, so probably wouldn't keep it that long. But after I made all of these, I thought, I guess you wouldn't necessarily tear the pages out and throw them away. I mean, if you were writing down your thoughts or whatever, it might be something that you would keep. But I still think they're pretty enough that you would want to keep them in your journal. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of paper in here, packing paper, coffee dyed, just odds and ends that were tore off of, other things. And this, had to laugh because I made this, I think on one of the videos, I think it was for my journaling buddy. And all these little things here are offcuts that I had to make the journal smaller or something. And so I picked them up and made this paper clip, and I laughed and said, well, one of these days it'll go on something. And I think it fits on this perfect. This book has a lot of stenciling in it, which I thought was really pretty. But it's just something quick and easy that we can do to put in our journals that don't really add that much bulk, depending on what kind of... Some of these are thicker because I used cardstock, depending, I guess, on what kind of paper you have. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't put a lot of embellishments on them because I didn't want to bulk them up real heavy, and then end up sticking them in my journal. But I have a blank journal here, and I'll show you kind of how you can use them and how pretty they would look in something. Not to mention, if you bought a journal and it's so much fun to look through them and see all the goodies and all the things people add, and then to come up on this would be really neat. Let's see. This is a smaller journal, but it's not got anything in it, so I thought I could show you that, just slide it down in a pocket. Then you would have that pretty stuff coming out, or you can turn it the other way, of course. thought that was so pretty. Or you can hook it onto a page. You know, actually, if it's, yeah, it's one that has a paper clip. You could take the paper clip off if you wanted and hook it to a page. Since I did only embellish half, you could put the half that, you know, is embellished, and it would be so pretty on your page with your little paper clip. Or let's see if I got any other pockets in this one. Oh, yeah. You could put it in these bags. Where'd I have that? And these are easy. They're just paper clips with a couple beads on them. Can't get much simpler than that. Isn't that pretty? I mean, even if you just did it sideways and stood up where this part showed, or anything, really, however you turn it, it's going to look so pretty in here. And like I said, on these tea dyes or any paper you have, it's just a really nice addition. Look at that. To your journal. I love it. And it takes like no time. I think I did 11 when I went to sewing them. I didn't even stop. I would just, you know, open them up, feed them through the sewing machine, and I wouldn't stop in between. So I had a big long line of them, and I did 11. I think I timed it. I think there was 11 in 6 minutes. And so then all you have to do is, you know, you're embellishing, which really, if you don't want to do much, you don't have to, because it keeps it, I mean, just the different papers themselves are pretty. But I thought we could make a couple of them real quick here and show you how easy they and fun they are, and what a great addition. I pulled out just a few fabric scraps and some, we'll try to see what we can do here with what I pulled out. My goal is not to turn around and get nothing else, so just to use whatever I pulled out here. And this is just packing paper. This packing paper I really, really like because it's easy to work with. You can tear it easy. This white packing paper, it's not easy to tear, but it's really good to write on. So I thought I tore off a couple pieces for us where you wouldn't have to hear me waller it around. But anyway, let's make our outside pieces. And I probably don't want them this tall, so we'll just make a couple of them, and I'll just tear this off to make it smaller. Tear the other side too, in case we ink it up or whatever. It'll all have rough edges. Probably should have made it easy on myself and just cut it. That way we didn't have to worry about. I tell you what I did on some of them. I took just the pinking shears, and that looked nice. I mean, it made it look like you had really done something different, and all you gotta do is just barely go along the edge there, and all you're losing is this much. So that's, and I will keep these. So let's start layering this one up. We'll do, and you want your outside piece to be the shortest piece. So we're going to build like in a, what do they call them, a waterfall journal. I'm going to go ahead and cut the ends of these since I've got it out here. I didn't do that when I was making these, and then I had to undo them all, and just seemed easier to do it in the beginning. And the main thing is you want each of your papers to show somewhere. They don't necessarily have to be longer, horizontal or vertical, just as long as they show somewhere. Get a little piece of this stuff off. And I'm really tickled because I almost used up a whole sheet of this white, and that was kind of my goal. I was trying to figure out something to do with this packing paper. And really, you don't have to cut both sides because they're not going to see that anyway. It's just mainly from, I mean, they will eventually, but it's mainly just for, you know, looks as they pull it out. And I had some of these tea-dyed index cards. I thought I might use some of them. Actually, I think I'll make some of these my smaller ones. I'll just cut that in two and use it in both things. Kind of layer them like this. And I think I was putting like 5 to 6 pieces in each one. So we've got 3, 4, 5 in this one. I'll go ahead and, because it's pretty flat, we'll just go ahead and add a little bit more. I love this packing paper. The brown, especially, I really like. We'll do it like this. Kind of stagger it a little bit. And then one more thing I wanted to add. I don't have to because actually this would be good enough. But I wanted to if it's got height-wise. I made some tea-dyed envelopes a while back. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this because I think I'm gonna use it in a way that it will need that. Plus, underneath it's not as dyed as the rest. I guess it doesn't matter. It gives it that. Now look what I did. Glued that and didn't need to. Gives it that rustic look, I guess. I don't know. And I glued it down crooked. Doesn't that just beat all? Way to go. I don't guess it really matters. I'll probably end up cutting it off. Watch. So then what I did, because I get tired of making pockets and the things I know how to make with this, so I decided I would just use them in this. And this is how I did it. I just cut them open. Actually. And I didn't even bother with hiding the first class stuff because, you know, it seems like we use that a lot on, you know, the stamps and stuff. We like it. So I thought, why wouldn't it be good on something like this? Plus which, I think the way it'll be in there, it won't even, that part won't show unless I turn it this way, I guess. Then it'd be upside down. So I'll do it like this. See where I want to put it in there. There we go. There, we got one of them done already. Alright, so we'll ink and all that stuff after I sew them together. So that's what we only ended up with one piece of paper left after we made these out of that little pile of mess I had there. So I'm going to go sew these. It'll take me about 2 minutes. And then I'll come back and we'll decorate these up and you'll see how quick it is. Actually, see these little offcuts? That's what I made that that one paper clip out of. I glued those to a circle and I wonder if I should keep some of those. No, Christy, you're trying to get rid of stuff. Okay. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so easy peasy. I left them together so I could show you what I was talking about. So when I sewed them, I just started with one, ran it through, put the next one in, and so forth. So now all I do is just cut them apart. And I don't worry too much about the threads and such because I think on these little scrappy things, the threads look fine. I mean, I like their look actually. So all I did was just sew up the middle where I had creased it. Probably do a little bit of sewing on the pages. But I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted to show you how that looked. Plus, which a couple of times on these, I had sewn on pieces I wished I hadn't. You know, like I wanted to put a tab on them or whatever. So I think that and these are small enough that, you know, normally if you were doing a big journal, you would I do my sewing before I bind it. But these are so small, and like I said, I'm really just doing the front. Like on some of the pieces that stick out, I mean, you could sew all the way around if you wanted to, but I probably won't, just because I don't think it's necessary on these things. They're just kind of like little scrappy things. But anyway, so let's start with one of these. And like I said, I pulled out some goodies, to just some ribbons and my ink. Let's use some stencils. How about that? First, maybe I'll go ahead and see what we got in our fabric pile and put a couple of pieces of, and the thing is you don't have to match anything. I guess I'm really just overthinking it. I ought to just throw stuff on here, but I can't hardly do it. I don't know why. So far, I've reached for everything in there and ain't picked nothing. So, okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm just going to put on some little tabbies. Not going to worry about it. I had a little piece of paper there, too. I think I'll just... How about that? I'll sew this piece of paper on. I will glue this one on right now. I might actually sew it, too. Nah, too much sewing. Alright, we'll glue this one on. I think I'm going to keep this one pretty flat, because it is really flat, and I like that. Because some of I have a tendency that I don't know when to stop on the journals, and I get them way too full. This is some of that coffee filter, collaged coffee filter. So I think I'm going to tear it in two and make it a tab on something. You don't even have to have, you know, normal full tabs. I mean, what I saw, I think I'm going to fold it over like this, but she just had little pieces sticking up. I thought it looked so good. Been nice if I could have folded that in half, wouldn't it? Instead of all funny. Crooked. There we go. It almost looks like it's been sewed at the bottom, the line on it. Alright, so we'll sew this here. And I think I'm going to leave that point just because it gives it some dimension. I like that. Alright, so let's do a little bit of stenciling. How about that? I'm going to use some of these, I think. Try not to make it too difficult. I think I'm going to use some of this orange. Just for fun. How about it? And on this stencil, it's weird. You kind of got to go out around where it can see the lines. Isn't that neat? I like that. I think on this one I'm going to do a part of I may do the whole thing, who knows. Doily. Looks like a doily. I think I'm going to just stick with the orange. I like that color. And if it mixes in with this brown, it'll look pretty. I'm shaking the table and I'm not trying to. stencil on one of my other journals, and it was a fall tree, and I made it all kinds of colors. It looks so pretty. I really like stenciling because it's always a surprise once you take that away. Doesn't that look good? I like that. I think it gives a little something. I think on this one I'm going to do, actually, let's put a heart right here. How about it? We don't have to stencil every page, and I'm probably making this way too difficult, but I just like to stencil. There we go. That's probably all the stenciling I'll do on that one. And then I'm going to sew the tab on that. Do I want something on this? I don't think so. I think that's enough tabs and whatnot. We will, if I could find that little piece of lace, we could put it, here it is. Just put it on front. Put a word on it, maybe. I know what we'll do. We'll put a butterfly sticker on it. How about that? Yeah, that'll work. The thing is, I'm bad to bend up the sticker trying to get the back of it off. Alright, so piece I'm going to sew on this one is just the, sorry, I have to keep stuff picked up. My desk isn't big enough to just keep it. So the only thing I'm going to sew is that piece right there, and then I'll probably sew along the edge of this one. So that'll be good on that one. So let's see what we got on these other ones. And remember, these aren't going to go in the same journal, so it's not like we can't use some of the same stuff we just did. I think I'm going to ink a couple of these. I'm going to have to stencil on this one. And let's see what we want to... Actually, I think I'm going to use... I think I'll use the orange again with that, having that piece in there. It might really make it kind of pop. Should I do... Actually, that kind of reminds me of, you know, like starlight or lightning bugs. So it reminds me of nighttime. I think I'm going to do some stars. We'll do some stars on this one. And I may just do it on the edge where... There, how about that? That looks kind of good, doesn't it? We want to put on the front. Do we want to put the moon or no? You know, we could. I've got some yellow here. And mixed in with that orange, you know, it might look like a harvest moon. Of course, a harvest moon is full, so that doesn't really make much sense, does it? I just love stencils. I think they make everything look so good. And it's like so easy and fast. It's probably my new favorite thing. So let's see, what do we want to sew onto this one? We got the moon and stars. We probably need some yellow glitter cloth, don't we? How about we sew a piece of this on somewhere? I don't know. I've got this cheesecloth too. Wonder what we could do with that. Make it stand up like this. Wonder if I could tie that on a paper clip, if what it would look like. I guess you guys probably already done that, but I never have, so let's check it out. You're probably thinking, well, that's been done a million times. It probably has, I'm sure. And maybe I've even seen it somewhere. Maybe that's what made me think of it. I don't know. I just thought something sticking up might look good. Looks okay, I guess, huh? Probably didn't turn out as great as I thought it would, but it looks okay. I like it okay. All right, so I need a word or something here, I think. Here's a good word. We'll use this one. Believe. And I think I'm going to ink around it, but I think I'm going to ink it with this yellow. What do you think? I like it. I got another idea. What if we made some of our stars shine? How about that? Let's do that. That looks kind of good, doesn't it? Hopefully that won't add too much bulky on it. All right, I need to sew for sure something. You know what? We could add this. I don't even know if you're supposed to use this stuff. It's on the end of a... I'm using it. It's on the end of a... What do you call that? A roll of fabric. And it's... You know, you don't sell it really, but I thought it looked pretty because it had numbers and stuff on it. So I kept it and made a ruffle out of it. Besides, this is just a junk journal, right? I mean, it can be stuff that don't necessarily match. Wonder if I should stencil. See, now I'm overthinking it. Wonder if I should stencil on the cloth there. Put a star or something on the cloth. That'd look kind of cool, wouldn't it? My old squeaky chair. I think I'm going to do that just for fun to see if it will work. See what it looks like. It's not going to hurt anything. I say that and it'll probably be like, why in the world did I do that? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Not too bad, see? I like it. I'm going to quit messing with this one or I'm just going to make it overkill. So I think I'm going to leave this one alone and call it good. We'll call this one done. Then we got one more. I think I'm going to take a piece of this lace, put it in the middle, and maybe find some washi that looks pretty good. This blue will work. Sew it in the middle of it. And I am going to put a little bit of glue on this just to keep it on there till I get to the sewing machine. Unfortunately, my sewing machine is not in with the rest of my crafting. I'm not complaining though, I'm just thankful I have one. And then I'll just sew it down the middle of that. It'll look neat. I think I'm going to use some of this too to maybe go, I don't know what I want to do with it. I guess I could make a ruffle out of it, couldn't I? I'll do that with the sewing. And what else we got? Some pretty bright blue, isn't it? use some of it. We'll glue it on instead of sew it when I get back, when we figure out where we want to put it. I think I'm going to put it right there. But I think I want to put the rest of this on first, just to see what it looks like. And then we can decide where we want to put this. And I'm probably going to sew across the top of that one too. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go sew this stuff. And then I will return. Hang on. Okay, so I did some things I said I wasn't going to do, and I sewed on this one more than I said I was going to, but I couldn't help myself. And then I went kind of crazy on the front instead of just sewing right down it. I thought it would look neat to have some design, and I'm glad I did it because I thought that turned out pretty good. I'm just going to snip these ends. And actually, I know that the tape is longer than the deal, but I don't think I'm going to cut it all the way. I think I'm just going to trim the very end of it off and leave it a little bit longer. I like that look. And then I was lazy and I didn't change my bobbin. I left it white, but I changed the top to blue, navy blue. And you know what? I really like how it looked. I think it turned out good. And then on the ribbon, I went kind of crazy on it too, and I didn't do it. I just did it real jagged, and I thought that turned out pretty good. I think I'm going to put it on the top, and I'm going to put this blue down here. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then, should we put a little lace somewhere? Need a little lace tab. Well, we already have lace here. What about something like this? I haven't used this yet. We use a little bit of piece of this too. Just for fun. Just because we can. Let it hang off a little bit. You know what we could do? We could put a safety pin on. Let's do that. If I keep hold of it. Just do it like this. Actually, what we could do, we could put a jump ring on it. And our beads will hang off the bottom. What do you think about that? I think I'm making it too difficult. Thought I saw a jump ring around here. Well, I guess we don't have to do that. I think what I'm going to do is put this on first, and then the beads will be towards the end. How's that? Should I move it up? Or is it okay where it is? We'll just leave it where it is. If we decide to move it later, we can always do that. But there's one. So we got 2 of them done. The third one is right here. Said I wasn't going to sew on this one either, and I did. Put little stitches on the bottom and on the front. Actually, I think I'm going to leave that sticking out like that. Got us a tabby here. Let's do a paper clip on this one. Let's do a rose gold paper clip. Silver and gold beads. I'm making this look a lot harder than it is, for sure. All right, there we go. Put it right here. Cute. I think that looks nice. Could move it. There we go. What do you think? Look good? So we made 3 in not very much time. Three pieces to add to our journals. And the thing about these having colors, you don't even have to worry about that when you go to put it in your journal. It can go in any color journal. I mean, these are just fun, scrappy things, and there's so many things on each one that really it would match anywhere you want to put it, I think. But I mean, you know, as we do journals, it's funny. Like I said on that, I'm going to have to move this. It's bugging me. As I said on that one paper clip, you know, I said one day I'd be able to use it, and sure enough, I was able to. I think that's fun when you have something you think you'll never use, or why did I get that, and all of a sudden it comes to mind, and it's like, oh, I'm glad I got that. It's perfect. So, I'm sorry, I had to change that. It was bugging me. I needed it up a little higher. I don't know why. I felt like it needed to be up a little higher. That just looks amazing, don't it? So much better. Didn't make a bit of difference, did it? Okay. All right. So, I hope you guys will try this, or let me know if you've already tried it, been doing it for years, and I'm the last one to get on the boat, or how that works. But if you are going to try it or have tried it, leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of things you did in yours. Did you use just everything and anything like this, or did you keep with the theme? Use different, I mean, what kind of different embellishments did you use? Let me know. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.